And on the right-hand side of your picture, Ayhan Guven, who won from pole position. Pole position today belongs to that man there, Lauren Heinrich, in the number 92 Porsche. And Larry Tenforder is all the way down in 5th place on the grid. And I can't actually remember the last time he started that far down on the grid, Dave.
No, it really surprised us. Ayhan Guven then, he took the win yesterday, and he, of course, is on the inside of the track, but it's a staggered grid. So Lauren Heinrich is advantaged by some meters, but Ayhan Guven, if he gets a very, very good start, could potentially convert P2 into P1. But of course, there are all sorts of connotations that we could talk about what could happen. We're not going to know until the lights go from red to green as to what is going to happen. Larry Tenforder then, as you quite rightly said, out of position, I think is fair to say, going from P5 on the grid for the Dutch driver, who of course has been so dominant in Porsche Carrera Cup. But talking of dominance in Carrera Cup, there's a lot of big names in the grid, on the grid.
And Lauren Heinrich, who starts on pole position, he has been fed up with staring at the back of Larry Tenforder's car for the entire season. The only way he could guarantee that not happening in this race to start with was to put it on pole position, which is exactly what he's done, his first pole position. And is he going to do enough to pick up his first race win of the year? Ayhan Guven, who starts second, the first ever Turkish winner in Porsche Carrera Cup Germany, ahead of Max van Splunteren, who starts third on the grid. And Luke Hartog, our leading junior driver, who starts 4th on the grid, was doing so well yesterday, and then an error saw him relegated down to the back of the pack and ultimately finishing in 18th position. We're on the formation lap. The cars are using this time to get the heat into the tyres and into the brakes. Lauren Heinrich on pole position alongside on Ayhan Guven. Then Max van Splunteren and Luke Hartog. An uncharacteristic low 5th place for Larry Tenforder. The very impressive returning Christopher Zerkling alongside in 6th. Maurice Schuring, who's impressed very much alongside Leon Köhler on row 4, with Julian Hansis and Rudy Van Buren on row 5. Row 6, Jesse van Kijk and Lucas Grunewald, with Dan van Kijk and Jukka Honkavori on row 7. Row 8, Sandra Kaibach and our leading Pro-Am driver Carlos Rivas alongside Jan-Erik Sluten alongside behind him, and you can see the rest of the grid coming through in the graphics. The problem is that the lap is so short here at Oschersleben, there's not enough time to read the grid out. It is just a 3.6 kilometre track, and so they have to rattle the graphics through very quickly. It's only 2.27 miles, you know.
Henrik, who's in charge of the graphics here, you could see him press the throttle pedal, couldn't you?
He's just getting faster and faster. It is, as I said, 3.667 kilometres around. It's one of the shorter tracks on the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany calendar. 14 turns, 7 to the left and 7 to the right. Very little in the way of gradient change. One of the few tracks that doesn't have much gradient change, just 23 metres. Quite difficult to overtake because it's just 11 to 13 metres wide. The fastest section is at the end of the 700-metre pit straight, and that presents the best overtaking opportunities.
Talking of overtaking opportunities, I can see the number 99 car starting right at the back of the pack of Bastien Bus, making some progress during the course of the race. I'll just bet a euro with you now that he doesn't finish P last.
Oh, absolutely. His lowest finish so far has been P9. He got a DQ in his first race for a technical issue. That was at Spa. But he is one of the real chargers, the new up-and-coming stars in Porsche Carrera Cup Germany. And he had a rubbish qualifying session, but he will be coming through the grid. We have no doubt about that. You can see the rest of the cars just forming up on the grid, and very shortly the man with the yellow flag will swap it for a green one. My eyes are looking up at the sky at the moment, because look how dark those clouds look, and rain is in the forecast. Thunderstorms possible this afternoon. That would really liven things up, wouldn't it?
That would be, yes, it would throw a curveball into it. Here comes the start.
5 red lights are on. We're waiting for those red lights to go off, and ahead of us it is 30 minutes of racing for Porsche Carrera Cup Germany. It's Lauren Heinrich who jumps off pole position, and there is some debris flying up. Somebody has lost a tyre at the back. We can see the rubber flying up in the air. Not entirely sure what's happened, but Lauren Heinrich leading the way. Ayhan Guven, but it's all hell breaking loose behind as the rest of the cars come streaming through the hotel turn.
Absolutely, we can see a wheel become detached, and it is Lauren Heinrich, and it's Georgi Donchev. Safety car is out. That's significant damage to the Georgi Donchev car, which has caused the wheel to become detached. Atlas will get a replay of it. There is stricken wheel, so it's Georgi Donchev. The stricken car, safety car has been called for, so Lauren Heinrich and Ayan Guven and Max van Splunteren and Lo Kartog and Larry Ten, all of them will slow accordingly. And Dan Van Koyk, look at this.
Yeah.
Damage on the side of the Dan Van Koyk car.
Well, hopefully we'll see a restart of that, and we'll see what's happened to those two cars. I have no doubt they've got together.
Christoph Huber there looks on.
Shaking his head in disbelief. It's not what he wanted to see at this stage of the race. So Georgi Donchev, who is in the Pro-Am category, is not going to score any points in this race, is he? And you can see Christoph Huber was looking on at the remnants of one of his cars, run by Nebulous Racing as well, stranded on the track. That was quite some impact to rip the wheel off like that.
And it will, and it was right at the start of the race, Brian. So what I'm trying to say by that is that they'd not got up to anything like racing speed.
I mean, you wonder whether a car has moved sideways into that, but hopefully we'll see a replay of that shortly. And
this is, forgive me interrupting you.
Oh, here we go.
There's the replay.
And
he didn't get going.
Didn't get going. And collected. So that was Van Splunteren, wasn't it?
See it again from this angle. Oh, it stalled.
Yeah. And
he just didn't.
And Bastian Buss collects the wheel.
Yeah, that damaged his car.
That's put a big dent in the bonnet of that Porsche, and they built him strong. I don't know whether that will have affected his performance. Almost certainly will have done. So Bastian Buss, that would have been quite scary. That thing complete with
I'll see it from on board
suspension hanging on, and that was Jan-Erik Sluten's perspective. That's a scary moment when you've got a stationary car in front of you while you're accelerating, isn't it?
Very good avoidance by most of the drivers, and unfortunately, he was just collected, wasn't he? Georgi Donchev just not able to put quite enough steering lock on to avoid, I think.
Yeah, and it's Dan Van Koyk, who is the car that had stalled on the grid, and Georgi Donchev, who may have been even up, well, he would have been unsighted till the last minute, and
yes,
as you say, couldn't get the lock on to get past. So Georgi Donchev, who is in the Pro-Am category, is not going to be scoring any points in that. Our leading Pro-Am driver, Carlos Rivas, that's a familiar sight, Carlos Rivas, because he has pretty well dominated the Pro-Am category in recent times. He's currently 14th on the track and leading in the category. A couple of places behind him, but second in the Pro-Am category is Jan-Erik Sluten. Luke Hartog, who starts 5th,
he got away
is our leading junior driver. Yes, you can see he got it going, and you see the car just kind of jolt forwards as he stalls it, and I'd say an easy mistake.
Right, Buren got that.
And it really has curled the bonnet up on that Porsche, hasn't it? And I should say that with all the various bits and pieces hanging off it, it's a pretty scary bit of the suspension.
Well, including the wheel tether as well.
Yeah. And they're not. It takes quite a bit of impact to tear one of those wheels off. And there's a good look inside the new Porsche 911 GT3 Cup car. It's a new car for this year, and it's a little bit higher horsepower. Last year's was 485 horsepower. This one is 510 horsepower. 4-litre naturally aspirated, water-cooled flat 6 boxer engine mounted in the rear. It's a wider car than last year's, actually, a more muscular, aggressive design, as we see the remnants being dragged off, smoke pouring from the tyres. One of the good bits about the new Porsche Carrera Cup car is it can run on synthetic fuels, which I think is a really good thing.
Absolutely, and it's an area that, in terms of motorsport, that we're looking at, isn't it? Because, as a couple of our marshalling team here,
when it takes 2 people to pick it up, you realise that that landing on the front of your car is going to make you jump a little, and into the pit lane they come.
Yeah, the cars are being taken through the pit lane to allow the marshals to work on the start-finish straight in recovering the debris. So this is normal practice whenever on the start-finish straight debris has got to be removed. The cars will be taken through the pit lane at a safe speed, of course, behind the safety car.
Unbelievably, Bastian Buss made it up to 22nd place despite that impact from the wheel, and there you can see him just going through there. So we said he wouldn't hang about, and despite that damage, doesn't seem to slow him down too much, does it?
Also, in the opening few yards, which is all we had, Loke Hartog had made it up to P4, which meant Zochling and Tenforder had dropped a place.
Yes, so Tenforder down to P6. I cannot remember the last time he ran that far down. He didn't finish off the podium in any single race last year in the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany, so he has got a lot of work to do, and that's exactly what Lauren Heinrich needs, because he's been staring at the back of that Larry Tenforder car for the entire season. Finally, he's in front.
Where the cars are now, there is time to get the safety car in at the end of this lap, in my opinion, because I think the debris has been cleared. Let's see. We will need to see the sign which says the pit entry is the pit exit rather is closed.
Safety car in this lap. Oh, that's a very good prediction. You see, you know your stuff, don't you? So we are getting ready. A little under 24 minutes of this race remaining, and it's going to be very, very tight. These cars all identical, overtaking not just the work of a moment, and the drivers will be looking to take advantage of that opening lap when they're all packed close together. Lauren Heinrich has been working hard whilst we've been looking at the recovery position, and we see his mirror just hanging off very slightly. Heinrich is working hard to keep the heat in the brakes, in the tyres, because he wants to catch Ayhan Guven napping, and he wants to open up a gap as soon as possible, as soon as those green lights come on.
Well, of course, as Ayhan Guven nearly runs into the back of Lauren Heinrich, it is down to Lauren Heinrich now. The safety car has peeled off. Heinrich can control the pace of this restart, and it's up to him when he gives it a footfall, which he does now. And Ayhan Guven, well anticipated, to be honest, he's stuck with him. They make a bit of a gap over Max van Splunteren, who's in P3. We go back to greens again and get this resumption of the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany race underway. Heinrich from Guven, van Splunteren, Hartog, Zochling and Tenforder into Hotel Turn 1.
We just saw Zochling, Tenforder and Schuring just ducking out of the queue slightly, but Guven really did anticipate that start very well. Heinrich didn't get the kind of jump he was hoping for. Opens up a bit of a gap now, and Van Splunteren has got Luke Hartog, who moves to the inside, and Van Splunteren kind of left the gap, and Hartog loses it completely, spins the car. Is he going to be avoided by the traffic?
My goodness.
Across the track so far, he seems to have got away with it, and that was a scary moment for Hartog, and that's just inexperience. Unfortunately, he had that move made, then lost traction, and the car spins. How on earth he avoided getting T-boned by another car is beyond me, but he's at the back of the pack now.
I really thought that was going to be collected. Huge, huge credit to all the drivers for being able to avoid, because he was right, pinpoint in the middle of the track.
That was going to hurt if it had got collected, and he made a mistake yesterday. This will be the view from Jan-Erik Sloten, and you can see...
Fantastic avoidance by everyone, including Jan-Erik Sloten.
Oh, that's such a shame. I'm looking forward to seeing what Hartog could do from there. He's making his debut in the series this year.
And of course, the tyres were cold relative to, because they hadn't had a full racing lap.
But that's the inexperience, isn't it? A young driver, and he's part of the talent pool. He will learn from that, as he did yesterday. I have no doubt, as we see what Carlos Rivas's view was like, I have no doubt at all that he will learn from that. He is going to be a championship contender of the future, but he's got some hard lessons to learn along the way.
Wow, amazing. And here's Larry Tenforder, who was one of the first look. And Larry having to take to the curbs and the grass to avoid. That could have been so different. Let's go back to the live feed pictures then, as Lauren Heinrich continues to lead from Ayhan Guven, Max van Splunteren, Larry Tenforder able to get past Christopher Zochling in the melee, and he's up to P4.
And here we go with Larry Tenforder moving to the inside. Larry Tenforder ahead of Max van Splunteren. So Tenforder up into third place already. He's making great progress when you consider he was sixth place just a couple of laps ago. So Tenforder definitely on the fight back, but Lauren Heinrich and Ayhan Guven in front, they are checking out. More battles further down the field. That's Jukka Honkavori and the 57 of Rudy Van Buren.
So merely 20 minutes of the race remaining following the incident earlier on, and that from a great on-board shot there, as we could see going through the number 57 car of Rudy Van Buren. Here's Jukka Honkavori, And Hungavori going to come back here, or try to, going into turn number 1, the hotel turn.
So under braking, this pit straight is the best overtaking opportunity. Rudy Van Buren shutting the door into the corner and protecting that position. The best opportunity into the hotel turn, but that is one tricky turn to get around, and you take too much speed into it, you're going to end up in the gravel trap. That's the view on board with Jukka Honkavori. That's our lead duo who have broken away slightly. Lauren Heinrich showing us 4/10 ahead of Ayhancan Guven, but that gap is kind of seesawing on every lap. Here comes Bastian Buss with that rearranged front end, courtesy of collecting that front wheel plus suspension.
So as we speak at the moment, Ten Voorde, who is in P3, has got a 2-second margin to make up to Ayhancan Guven. Guven and Heinrich, as you quite rightly said, have broken away a bit, and there, as you say, the remodelled front end of that Porsche of Allied Racing's Bastian Buss, who was on the receiving end of a gift of a wheel, which wasn't what he wanted right at the start of the race. It'll be very interesting to see what Larry Ten Voorde can do in terms of reducing this gap from P3.
And Bastian Buss appears to have had some kind of aerodynamic advantage with that dent, because he is making progress up to P17 already. I need to remind you, he started stone last in this race and has made his way up to P17 despite that encounter with the wheel. We're going to keep an eye on Bastian Buss. He's got Sandro Kaibach just ahead of him on the track and is going to be making his move on there. You can see Lauren Heinrich, purple laps on lap 4 and 5, but Guven is coming back.
And what Ten Voorde wants, of course, is for a big fight between Lauren Heinrich and Ayhancan Guven. He's taken a couple of tenths out of the gap between P2 and P3, but the more these two fight and slow, the big advantage taker is going to be Larry Ten Voorde.
And Larry Ten Voorde is putting in purple sectors on the timing screens and is looking to close in, because the lead duo had broken away. Larry Ten Voorde was fighting in the traffic to come through into that 3rd place. Can he close that gap down? You have to preserve the car. We've still got 17.5 minutes left. You don't want to use the tyres and the brakes up too early.
But because of the safety car, you've got a bit of tyre life that you wouldn't have had, because you don't take as much out of the rubber, obviously, when you're running behind the safety car. So I think Ten Voorde he's going to throw absolutely everything at this. But Heinrich and Guven, to be fair, as Heinrich sets the fastest lap going through sector 2, they are not slow.
Yes, and you wouldn't expect anything less from Larry Ten Voorde, as we see Leon Kohler piling the pressure on Christopher Zirkling out of turn 14 and almost pushing him round the corner. And Kohler moves to the inside, and it's going to be a drag race. Look at Zirkling pushing him onto the grass. Leon Kohler, no traction at all, somehow holds it together and comes back. Brilliant driving from Leon Kohler. He wasn't going to back out of that. That was for P5.
Christopher, that was a bit mean, to be honest. You know, he really did squeeze him onto the grass. That was a huge, huge save from Leon, in my opinion. That could have gone so horribly wrong. It was here, and I think Christopher just felt that, you know what, this isn't fair. He shoved him all the way around turn 14, didn't he? So he said, right, I'm going to squeeze you now, friend. And squeeze he did. Look, on the grass, completely all 4 wheels, Brian.
Yeah, that was going to be his justification, because he did have a bit of a thump going into the corner. And Zirkling holds on to P5. Kohler in P6. Morris Schuring in the background looking to take up anything that might happen. And you can see again that replay. That was great driving from Leon Kohler. Really impressive.
Morris Schuring was not able to take advantage of that, but it was absolutely amazing. Ten Voorde now, the gap is it's 2.3. It's not decreasing greatly, Brian. So Heinrich and Guven are still able to maintain their pace, as Larry Ten Voorde, though, does set up sector time quicker than anyone. So we're just keeping an eye on that at the moment. And Christopher Sochling running in that P5 position, Leon Kohler P6. Then it is Schuring, Hanses, Van Buren and Honkavori rounding out the top 10.
And Christopher Zirkling has picked up a black and white flag for that manoeuvre with Leon Kohler. It is just a warning at this point, but if he tries to do that again, the stewards are probably going to take a fairly dim view on it. Kohler's back though, look at him weaving behind him.
I really think that was payback. Oh, here comes another little tap. Just to let you know I'm here, chap.
This time he's making it stick, and I wonder if there was a bit of contact. They bounce off each other running side by side. This is a drag race to the next corner. Zirkling has the inside line, squeezes Kohler once again. Kohler is not settling for that position, is he? So in P6 at the moment, he's got his eyes on P5. Zirkling driving very defensively.
Yes, I mean, it's a real battle between these two, isn't it? Leon Köhler then and Christopher Sochling. They have shared more than a little track space between the two of them, and here we can see it in replay. And again, Leon Köhler is, in my opinion, he's trying to find a gap sometimes where there isn't a gap. Christopher Sochling is then trying to come back at him, and inevitably, there you can see that Sochling very nearly had to shortcut that corner. And this was where the little rub and the push came between the two of them. And you have to wring the neck out of these Porsche Carrera Cup cars, and both of them are wringing the neck, not out of the cars, but out of the track and the grass and everything else as well.
This is classic Leon Köhler, though. He never says never, does he? And he's always there. And Maurice Schuring in the background, willing these two to carry on what they're doing so that he can sneak through and steal the position away from both of them. Looking at our leaders, Lauren Heinrich leading by 0.8 of a second from Ayhan Guven. Larry Tenforder 2.034 seconds behind.
Come on.
Oh, here we go again. This time, Leon Köhler makes it stick and takes that position away.
That was perfectly fair, wasn't it?
And he didn't need to get the bumper in on that one, did he?
I think there was a mistake there from Christopher Sochling. And now we'll see just what pace Leon Köhler has got in terms of getting away from the number 27 car.
So Larry Tenforder doesn't look to be making any moves on Ayhan Guven. Here's a replay. And maybe there was a little bit of contact. We'll keep an eye on the timing screens to see whether the stewards. Someone ought to tell them that the stock cars are on another weekend. It's not tonight, so it's not cricket, really, is it?
And fair play to our TV crew for giving us the pictures there to reinforce what we can see. And definitely that move looked altogether different from a different angle, didn't it?
It really did. And the stewards, I have no doubt, will be taking a look at that. There is an element of rubbing that is allowed, but that was quite a little thump that he gave him. There was many thumps before that. We're looking at the leader now. Lauren Heinrich looking back at Ayhan Guven. That's the 1 and 2. You can see that Heinrich is not getting away. Tenforder is keeping them in sight.
Well, to be fair, I think on the last lap, Heinrich and Guven were a bit quicker than Tenforder. Let's see. The timing screen will tell us all.
Tenforder has lost 0.3 of a second in that last lap, so he's not making the inroads that he would hope for.
In the meantime, Leon Köhler, now he has muscled his way past Christopher Sochling. He's not escaping up the road quite as quickly as I thought he would. I wonder whether Sochling is thinking, right, I'm coming after you, friend. But at the moment, he's not able to get on terms with Leon Köhler. So these two, who've had a really good fight between them, very physical. There is Ayhan Guven then running in P2 behind Lauren Heinrich, who's got 0.8 over Ayhan Guven at the moment. The top three, Heinrich, Guven and Tenforder ahead of Max van Splunteren. Then it is the Leon Köhler and Christopher Sochling banger race that's going on behind as they continue to swap P5 and P6, but it is with Leon Köhler at the moment, and looks like it's not going to be altered from that because Köhler has built a couple of car lengths of margin between himself and Sochling. Then Schuring and Julian Hanses into that P8 position.
And our leading junior driver is Maurice Schuring in P7. Bastian Buss, unbelievably, is in second place in the junior category. He's made it up to 13th on the track, having started stone last and collected that wheel with Rudolf Rien, who is 15th on the track, 3rd in the junior category. Our leading pro-am driver, oh, surprise, surprise, is Carlos Rivas, 14th on the track, and Jan-Erik Sluten, who is in 17th.
So Julian Hanses and Rudy Van Buren that we're looking at here, and looking at the lap evolution, if you will, over the last 3 laps between the two of them, which is interesting, always interesting to look at, as Rudy Van Buren tries to reel in Julian Hanses and try and take that P8. In the meantime, Julian Hanses, of course, has got Maurice Schuring well within his target sights as well. The gap between them is just 0.3. So three-way fight going on there for the P8 position, with but 10 3/4 minutes of this race remaining because of the earlier safety car. And here is the redesigned front end of the Allied racing driver Bastian Buss, who is currently running in P13.
The black and white flag has been shown to Leon Köhler, the number 77 car, and that would have been as a result with his little run-in with Christopher Sochling. Again, I think a slightly different approach to the stewarding being taken this year, allowing the drivers to race a little bit and get stuck in. No drive-through penalty, but a black and white flag is a warning, and if Köhler tries the same treatment on Max van Splunteren, does he catch him in front? If he does catch him, then the stewards might impose a penalty. We're looking again at a replay of the start, and you can see Bastian Buss collecting that wheel. I tell you what, I've said it before, I'll say it again, that must be terrifying.
Well, it's terrifying. Did you see how the suspension on Bastien Bous's car reacted? I mean, the splitter, just about everything, the floor panel, everything was rubbing on the tarmac. But I tell you what you said earlier is it seems to have given something of an aerodynamic advantage to Bastien Bous, because look at him, he's absolutely flying. He's up to P13. So there is Bastien Bous with his slightly indented front end of the car, but it hasn't impacted the performance of the car, I would suggest, or indeed him, where you and I would have needed to change our underpants having seen that wheel. Bastien is just taken all in his stride and he's on his way.
Well, if when we get the Red Bull Ring, all of the cars have got bonnets shaped like that, we'll know that he's discovered something that was hitherto undiscovered. Right, this is Fabio Cisignola in the number 46 car, ahead of Bashar Mardini. And
Bashar being right.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting stuck in, and that's a little bit further down the grid. Cisignola in 19th, Mardini was showing in 18th, and Cisignola getting properly stuck in there.
Yeah, good racing wherever you look during the Carrera Cup Germany. Look at them side by side here. Only 8.5 minutes of this race remaining. That is being led by Lauren Heinrich, 8/10 over Ayhancan Guven, and then Larry Tenforder a couple of seconds further behind us. Up to the inside goes the number 19 car of Antonio Teixeira. There's Kim Hauschild, and there is our race leader. I beg your pardon, no it isn't. This is... Sorry, as our camera whipped panned across...
You had a panicky moment there, didn't you?
Yes, I did, rather. There is Bash Mardini then, ahead of the number 7 car. Kim Hauschild, thank you very much. And of course, that's the last place you want to be at the moment, is in one of the garages, looking at the monitors and listening to us and thinking, oh my goodness, what is going on out there? Heinrich, 7/10 he's got, but... Ayhancan Guven, you can see on the last lap, took very nearly a couple of tenths out of Heinrich. So Ayhancan Guven in the final stages of this race, because we're into the final 7.5 minutes, is perhaps thinking, right, now is the opportunity for me to try and have a go at Lauren Heinrich. But as you say, Lauren Heinrich's just so sick of looking at the back end of Larry Tenforder, which some may find attractive, but clearly Lauren Heinrich doesn't. He wants the opportunity to be P1. He is P1, but I tell you what, Ayhancan Guven has not given up on this.
No, Ayhancan Guven took his first race win in the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany yesterday. Some say that once you've got that first win under your belt, it gives you added confidence, and you feel like Guven is driving so well here and with so much confidence. At Spa, he got a 4th place and didn't finish the first race, so he has not got the points that Larry Tenforder got, but he's looking to make that back up, and if he can stay in front of Larry Tenforder in this, as you see Lauren Heinrich having set the fastest lap of the race now, then Ayhancan Guven will be back in the championship chase. Now Heinrich going deep into the corner, Ayhancan Guven using every opportunity to close in on him. We're looking across the hotel corner and down onto the pit straight. The best overtaking opportunity, and that's exactly what Bastien Bous is trying on Lucas Groeneveld. So Lucas Groeneveld in the number 15 car running in 12th place, and Bastien Bous, absolutely incredible driving from this young charger. Started stone last, remodelled the front of the car with a wheel and suspension, and now is up into P12.
Wow, what racing we are seeing here in the Carrera Cup Germany, as Bastien Bous just took advantage of the fact that the number 15 car of Lucas Groeneveld ran wide. He said, thanks very much, I don't need much of an invitation. You certainly haven't got to put it in the post to me, friend. I am taking advantage of that, and advantage of that he did.
So Bastien Bous, 17 years old, one of the talent pool drivers, the young drivers that are encouraged, and coached and mentored by former Porsche Works driver Wolf Hensler, as we ride on board with Ayhancan Guven looking ahead at our leader Lauren Heinrich.
So, just 5.5 minutes remaining in this Carrera Cup Deutschland race 2. What a race we've had! We've had everything thrown at it, from various bits of car, which were detached from where they should have been, to all sorts of track limit excursions, to Christopher Zoechling and Leon Köhler deciding each other's paint scheme is the one they'd rather have had on their car. It's been brilliant.
And it looks as though Lauren Heinrich has just turned the wick up a little and broken away from Ian Chen-Guven. He was the fastest man on the track the last time around, Lauren Heinrich, and Ian Chen-Guven, suddenly the challenge is not looking quite so strong, but Larry Tenforder, a long way back for him, and he's not used to being in third place. He's used to having an open track in front of him. This is new. Max van Splunter and Leon Kohler continue their battle, and look at Bastian Buss honing in on Jesse van Kuijk.
I agree. I think he could be on him before the end of this race, you know.
Incredible.
Carlos Rivas then, the Black Falcon Team Techstar driver, sets the fastest lap on 1:27.773. He, of course, is leading in the Pro-Am classification. Quelle surprise, as Lauren Heinrich leads the race. 8/10 over Ian Chen-Guven. Larry Tenforder, who's really losing time now between himself and Ian Chen-Guven. The gap is up to 4.2 seconds between them. We ride on board some of these fantastic shots that we can have, and there is Carlos Rivas then doing a very, very good job. I mean, he's such a talented driver within class, isn't he? The Black Falcon Team Techstar driver. So Heinrich from Guven, from Tenforder, van Splunteren, and Leon Kohler, the top 5.
And of course, Carlos Rivas is the current Pro-Am champion and the championship leader in the Pro-Am category. Lauren Heinrich, who's leading this race, is the current rookie championship, and he has got his eyes on the main driver's title. Here we go, Leon Kohler on the number 24 car of Max van Splunteren, and again, a little bit boisterous, I would say.
No, I disagree with you. I think Max van Splunteren left the door blooming wide open to Leon Kohler there. I mean, that was, truthfully, in my opinion, a mistake there, because Kohler just went through. In the meantime, however, here comes Christopher Zoechling ready to bash his way by. And I don't mean that in any way disrespectfully to Christopher Zoechling. He and I are good friends, but you know, he does know when to stick his elbows out, and he'll have seen how easy it was made for Leon Kohler, and he'll be saying, I'll have some of that as well. So Max van Splunteren, I don't know whether he just misjudged going into that turn or whatever. Let's see it again, because I'm sorry, Brian, I do disagree with you.
No, I just think he was, when I say boisterous, I just think he was very eager and forwards. Max van Splunteren to the side.
The whole overtake from start to finish, there wasn't a touch between them, which I do accept as unusual. I do accept as unusual. Oh, Lucas, what else can you throw at this race?
And a jump across the gravel. I mean, he got all four wheels off the ground. He was in P13. He ain't going to be any more once they cross the timing line. So Groeneveld getting airborne as he bounces across the gravel. As you said, what else can you throw at this race? It hasn't started raining yet. We've got 2 minutes though, so the night is young. But Lauren Heinrich is still looking to take the first win in the Carrera Cup Germany.
Christopher Zoechling did manage to get by Max van Spluteren, who indicated left and pulled over and allowed him to come through, I'm sure. So it's Heinrich, Guven and Tenforder. Then it's Kohler, P4. Zoechling is P5. Max van Spluteren is relegated to P6. And in the meantime, I said, did I not? Bastian Buus is going to be on him before the end of the race. Bastian Buus has got to go through on the number 26 car of Jesse van Kuijk. Surely, because he's done such a good job. And you're right, the aerodynamicists at Porsche are going to be taking a look at the look at this reshaped front end. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but then who am I to say? But certainly it appears not to have hampered the performance of the Bastian Buus car at all.
So can Bastian Buus get into the top 11? Jesse van Kuijk with a car that's got all the right bits pointing in the right direction, and Bastian Buus with his severely modified Porsche honing in on him, and less than a minute plus 1 lap to get past, and it'll be a brave man who'd bet against it. I think Bastian Buus has got the bit between his teeth, and I think he probably got out of bed this morning deciding that come hell or high water he was going to get some decent points.
With his facelift that went wrong, I'm talking to the car, of course. Here he comes, he's on Jesse van Kuijk. Jesse van Kuijk is going to dive to the inside. He was certainly close enough to be able to do so. He'll hope Van Kuijk has got too much going into the turn, but Buus actually carried a little bit too much speed, so the gap has gone away now, and unfortunately, with only 30 seconds remaining, there's the remainder of this lap plus 1 more before the end of this Carrera Cup race, and I'm sorry to say, I'm not going to apologise for it. Please, race control, please, Porsche, can we have another 10 minutes or so, because it has been been compelling. It really has.
Give it another half hour and Bastian Buss will be on the podium. Did you see him there going wide, picking up the dirt, the back end hanging out? He is driving the wheels off that thing. Really fearless, talented driving. The talent pool is full of talent, and Bastian Buss up onto two wheels over the curbing. He is wringing the neck of that Porsche.
In the meantime, Lauren Heinrich continues to see off Ayenchan Guven for the moment. So, as they head towards the timing line now, they get the last lap board. It's now or never for Ayenchan Guven, but I think he's too far back, to be honest. I think Lauren Heinrich has done a great job here. I'm not going to say the same, though, about the opportunity that exists for Bastian Buss, as we will see him and Jesse van Kuik. I thought we were going to see them around the turn 14, but we didn't.
Well, focus very much on the leader because this is the final lap, and Lauren Heinrich has done a great job.
Yes.
And this will be his first win in Porsche Carrera Cup Germany. He came so close last year. He come back this year as the rookie champion and has got his eyes on the title. Here we go, Bastian Buss on the inside.
Brilliant.
Of Jesse van Kuik, and still picking up the dirt as he goes past. Bastian Buss, the steamroller coming through, the number 99 car. We look again, and no contact. Jesse van Kuik leaves a gap on the inside, and I dread to think what the tyres are looking like on that Bastian Buss car, because they must be absolutely worn through to the canvas. Here comes our leader, Lauren Heinrich. Ayenchan Guven, he's got nothing for him. They're through the chicane for the last time. Lauren Heinrich leading the way, and he's just got to hold on for a few more corners to win the fourth race of the season for the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany. Here he comes, and out onto the home straight is Lauren Heinrich, who takes the checkered flag for race 2 of round 2 here at Oschersleben. Ayenchan Guven second. You see Luke Hartog in the background, but of course he's a lap down. Third across the line. Very low third for him, and he'll be very disappointed with that. Larry Tenford and Leon Curler, after all of his panel bashing through into P4, and the 28 car, Christoph Langer in the fence, and Langer was down towards the back of the field anyway. So circling in 5th, Max van Splunteren in 6th. Yes. Our leader in the rookie championship is Maurice Schuring. He finished 7th on the road. Winner, should I say, in the rookie championship.
Lauren Heinrich's sausage and egg McMuffin worked for him today.
It really did. And the winner of the Pro-Am race went to Carlos Rivas, who finishes 13th on the road. But our focus is very much on the winner of the race overall, Lauren Heinrich. Dominant performance from pole position once again.
Drive of the day has got, in my opinion, to go to Bastian.
Oh, without a doubt. 11th from the back of the grid and remodelling the front of the car.
Yes.
I mean, yeah. He's going to need a lie down after that, I should think, because that was a mega effort from Bastian Buss, and I can't wait to see him at Red Bull Ring, starting from a representative grid position.
Here's the classification then. Lauren Heinrich takes the win from Ayenchan Guven. Then it was Larry Tenford. Those are the drivers that you'll be seeing up on the podium. Got your problem there. Leon Curler P4. Then it was Christopher Zochling. What a race they've had. Max van Splunteren. Maurice Schuring takes P7. Julian Hand says creditable finish in P8. Rudy van Buren P9. Junker Honker Vuri P10. And nearly into the top 10, Bastian Buss. Brilliant driving. Jesse van Kuik. Carlos Rivas, of course, for the Pro-Am driver. He takes the win in that class. Rudolf Rehn, and then the rest of the order that you can see there. If ever you have doubted why we get so excited about the Porsche Carrera Cup Germany, hopefully today has convinced you. This is awesome racing.
It really is. You have to remember these cars are all absolutely identical. Driver skill to the fore in this, and this is the circuit that's the toughest to overtake. You can imagine what they're like at some of the other circuits as well. A great varied calendar for Porsche Carrera Cup Germany. We head off to the Red Bull Ring in June, and then we're to Monza also in June. Great to be in Italy with this series. Then the remodeled Zandvoort. It's going to be good to see these round the banked corners of the new Zandvoort. The Nürburgring follows that, and Sachsenring. The season closes in Hockenheim. 16 races complete. There you can see the points championship. Larry Tenford at the top. Lauren Heinrich just 5 points behind with 28 points. The deficit to Ayenchan Guven.
Talking of Zandvoort, the speed they're going to be able to carry into that Tarzan turn now, coming off the banking of the final turn, extraordinary.
Oh, it's going to be great. I actually am physically excited. I can't wait.
A little bit no, I'm not going to say that. Lauren Heinrich, Ayan Guven and Larry Tenforder then are the drivers that we're going to be seeing on the podium. But every driver, and there were so many instances during that race, Brian, where you saw the talent of the driving standards that they have, because the avoidance they had to make when there were cars stricken. Absolutely brilliant driving. Really, really impressed today. I've really enjoyed that race.
Thoroughly entertaining. And I think mention to Luke Hartog, I know he had that spin early on. And Larry Tenforder looks almost defeated. Whoever thought that the bottom step of the podium would be such a loss? Well. But Luke Hartog, who had that spin, and he made a mistake yesterday. But I think the likes of he and Bastian Buss are going to ensure that we are thoroughly entertained this year, along with that man now, Larry Tenforder. And
congratulated there by Christoph Huber, who just walked past.
That's very nice too. And of course, he used to run for Huber, and Larry Tenforder. People who thought he was going to walk away with it this year are very much mistaken.
And in fairness, you and I wondered that. Let's be truthful. We've seen enough of Larry Tenforder to know how talented he is, and we did think this could be a shoe-in for him.
I can't help feeling that Ayan Guven has got a newfound confidence after that win yesterday. And although the grid qualifying was done before race 1 yesterday, it just feels as though he has really upped his game and gone up a notch. And I think Ayan Guven is going to be at the front of the grid for the rest of this season. So there's Larry Tenforder, a refreshing drink, and very shortly we will be taking these drivers up to the podium.
Yes, using his BWT bottle there. Big up to BWT, who of course are not, who are making the paddock plastic bottle-free zone, doing a very, very good job. And there you can see they're lining up ahead of the media focus that is on the top three: Lauren Heinrich, Ayan Guven, and Larry Tenforder. Then they'll be heading up to the podium. It's Christine there, and a bit of a shove, wasn't it, to make sure that Ayan Guven is in the right place. But well done. Here in replay, the checkered flag being taken by Lauren Heinrich, who will have been saying to himself, at bloomin' last. Lauren Heinrich taking the win from Ayan Guven, who ran him close to it, to be fair. And both of those two, the pace they had over Larry Tenforder was really, really impressive. Really impressive. All in all, though, fantastic Carrera Cup race. I go for a lie down.
So after round 1 at Spa, which was an absolute lockout for Larry Tenforder, we get 2 first-time winners at Oschersleben this weekend, and Larry Tenforder suddenly is developing a bit of a headache. He got 2 out of 2 from pole position at Spa. P3 and P2 yesterday means that the points championship is not quite as easy as he hoped it would be. Lauren Heinrich receiving congratulations from Ayan Guven, and they head towards the cool-down room. There's a slow-mo, Larry Tenforder for Team GP Elite, and you see him bumping across the curbs, giving it everything. He had nothing for that man, Ayan Guven, for Phoenix Racing, and the driver who won yesterday, and he certainly had nothing for the driver that crossed the line first, the number 92 of Lauren Heinrich, once again bouncing across those curbs, and he was for Van Berger Huber Racing, taking the win for race 2 here at Oschersleben this weekend.
And there was one very happy Mr. C. Huber to the left-hand side of your picture there. Crikey. Steady on, chap. Lifting Christoph is no easy task, I can tell you.
Oh, Harku's talking. I failed to mention, of course, Lauren Heinrich is part of the talent pool himself. We're talking about Bastian Buss and Morris Schuring, but Lauren Heinrich, one of the real up-and-coming drivers in the talent pool as well, along with Fabio Citignola, Rudolf Rien, and Antonio Teixeira. They're all drivers, and Julian Hanses, in fact, in the talent pool. And quite excited. You see that group of young drivers who are being nurtured, mentioned earlier, by Wolf Hensler, and very much the rising stars in GT racing.
I completely agree with you. And they have this real ability in terms of spotting talent and seeing the drivers that they need to put their focus and emphasis behind. Now, this, according to my learned colleague in the studio next to me, Brian Oliver, is a cool-down room. Is the podium preps room, of course, and it'll be the likes of there we can see Burkhard Bechtel, who will be bringing the drivers out onto the podium, and there the three await, and here's Burkhard Bechtel then bringing Larry Tenvorder out to the third step of the podium.
And Larry looking reasonably upbeat. Ayhancan Guven, second step of the podium. And there's Lauren Heinrich. He's very tall, isn't he? Even taller now. Top step of the podium for the national anthem.
I love listening to Burkhard.
One of the legends of
very much so.
Porsche Carrera Cup.
And only fair to say that he does so much for us off the air, and always grateful to you, Burkhard.
Absolutely. Christoph Huber up there as well, receiving a trophy on behalf of the winning team.
Christoph is such a wonderful, wonderful team principal as well. He and I have had some fantastic fun together. He's a great guy. Oh, look at him. He wins the race for the Champers, doesn't he? Although it hasn't got quite so much fizz as I really rather hoped. But there we are. Oh, he's
yeah, that'll teach him.
Yeah, it will rather. Just desserts were apportioned there, I think. Oh, steady on, chap.
So celebrations on the podium for Porsche Carrera Cup Germany Race 2. We're going to pack it all up and do it all again. It'll be the Red Bull Ring next on the 11th to the 13th of June. Join us there. See you then. Bye-bye.